TGC Requiem back with our league here. 0-1, we lost 1-2 in the first match. We're playing Combo Elves. Again, I'm very new to Legacy. I've basically ignored Legacy prior to picking up Legacy Elves. That seems good enough to keep. Sure. So I apologize, I'm going to make plenty of misplays, I'm sure. Certainly point out stuff that I should catch. This is Miracles, which is not a good matchup as I understand it. So if we go... Don't know that this will work or not, right? If I go Heritage Druid into Cradle, we could potentially chain off here. So Force of Will here on the Elvish Visionary. Cut this off before it gets going. Exiles Ponder, that's fine. So with Elvish Visionary there and the fact that we could have then activated for 3 mana, I mean, I don't know what we'd have had to hit to keep a chain going. Maybe like a Wirewood Symbiote would have allowed us to do something. I mean, we really couldn't have triggered a Glimpse chain. It's possible our opponent's concerned we have Natural Order next turn. Get in for 2. So Miracles game 1 especially is just brutal for us. On the Elves side, at least the combo Elves, there's a Chaos Elves version. That's supposedly a little bit better. Post-board it gets a little easier for us, but still far from good. Terminus is the problem. So now all of our creatures are on the bottom of the library, and we have to reload. So we'll fetch that into a Dryad Arbor the next turn with Pendelhaven. So now we get to the point though where he's going to be able to set up at some point the angel, entreat the angels for the miracle. And it probably won't take more than 1 or 2 angels to blow us out of the water. Jace. So I'm going to draw 3, put 2 from hand on top of the library. So basically Brainstorm, which I hear is a pretty good card. So with Pendelhaven, we can tap for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 still. So we'll cast this. We're kind of donezo, but there is the potential. Let's see, we could tap for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 next turn. So yeah, we definitely got to go at Jace, unfortunately. That's so sad. Yeah, short of a double cradle, but if we pull double cradle, we can. Well, we can't even. Yeah, we're pretty much just screwed. When I was in Detroit, I traded for a Spanish natural order, Orden Natural, signed by Therese Nielsen. That's pretty cool. So he put the top back on top to draw a card. Can't imagine how we get out of this game. I think our only choice. Oh, Monster Mentor, nice. Gonna change some tokens right here, right now. Top, okay. So I've heard Chapin talk about how Mentor can go nuts with Sensei's Divining Top. So now we can tap for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're 1 shy. So if we attack with both the Dryad Arbor and Birch Lore, we could theoretically trade to kill a Jace, but it leaves us a mana short of casting Craterhoof, which frankly is the only way I really see that we win. But it's also super unlikely. But if we do get to run over with Trample next turn for 4. So it's basically, do we throw a body at the Jace? Because the Jace is going to die for sure. Or one of our creatures is going to die for sure. I think we don't. I think we just take our chances on the Craterhoof. Because even though it's a severely small chance of winning, it's probably still our best chance of winning. So if he gets a little greedy here and tries to create a bunch of tokens this turn in hopes of doing a attack next turn, we might be able to just sneak this Craterhoof in for a lethal attack. look at them. Monk scale. So he's going for more. So I'm assuming brainstorm, but maybe ponder. Yeah. So if he's just gonna ponder, I'm not sure why he wouldn't have pondered before combat. Could have attacked for a lot more. So now he's gonna play the ponder. Yeah, I don't get that play, but okay. Maybe it's just because I'm new to Legacy. I feel like that's just a misplay. If you're gonna do that anyway. Then you can attack with a 5/5. I can't even block profitably, right? I mean, I suppose I could do 5 damage still with Pendelhaven. So I think we need a 1-drop or a land, right? So right now we can tap for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Technically we can tap for 8. All right. So let's think this through. If we get so that's 9. So if we, sorry. Yeah, we have to get a basic here because we want these two upright, because then they'll be 6, 5, 11 plus 9, which is 20, which is not enough. If we get a Dryad Arbor, the problem is we're not attacking with these guys. Although, if we get a Dryad Arbor, Cradle taps for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So actually we are still, right? So if we get a Cradle, or a Dryad Arbor, we're tapping for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then that makes everything, that's extra damage, yeah. Yeah. 3 more points of damage. I still don't think there's any way we win here, but... And there's a Force of Will. Yeah, it'd be too much to think that there was any way to sneak that in. Alright, so... let's think about attacks back. 5... If we chump the 3 weakest, it takes him spinning the top to do 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we're just going to concede to buy ourselves more time. It takes him casting 1 more spell. Alright, so let's see here. I know we want to bring in Abrupt Decays. I think Progenitus is supposed to be good. I think we take 1 Crater Hoof out again. We want the Librarian, which we already did. Yeah, we want Pithing Needle, we want Null Rod. Okay, apparently stuff's just super slow, not responsive here. I don't think we actually need Reclamation Sage. Taking a Crater Hoof out. Probably do some sort of combo here. Well, you know, at least Nettle. Definitely want Thoughtseize. Surgical Extraction seems like too much. Glimpse seems like a hard thing to chain, right? I mean, Scavenging Ooze or Surgical Extraction's alright. If you think about Snappy. I think maybe we do just pull a Nettle Sentinel here. And I think we're at 61, so we're going to pull a Quirion Ranger. That's what we're going to roll with. So we are fighting the hate and trying to get a Progenitus down ASAP. Otherwise, we're just trying to combo out ASAP. So Null Rod and Abrupt Decay is good. We have access to the mana we need. I think we keep this. We're going to start out with Dryad Arbor here, because we don't really have any turn 1 plays save Symbiote. We'd rather just jam Null Rod turn 2. Here comes the Swords to Plowshares. Top would be great. Yeah. Alright. So we're going to go get a Bayou. Slam down the old Null Rod, get a Force of Willed. No, okay. And then that allows us to save the Abrupt Decay for a counterbalance, which I guess is a little weaker without Divining Top anyway, but still. Oh, so what does one do here? I suppose we can run a Symbiote out, see if it gets counterbalanced. If it gets counterbalanced, we can play Cradle and Abrupt Decay it. But if it doesn't get countered, then we can run Visionary. out with Gaia's Cradle and the other Wirewood Symbiote. He does not have white mana up in case Terminus was the first card he pulls. I think I like the chance. I'm playing a little risky here. It's a bad matchup. Let's run a little risk. Terminus. Thank God he doesn't have a white mana source right now. So we can Cradle for 4. Can he still Terminus? I don't think he can still Terminus. He has to reveal it then, right? Maybe? Is it too late? I guess I don't know how that works. I know if it's the first card and you reveal it, so maybe he still could have cast it this turn. Oh, that scares the crap out of me. It's a sorcery, though. So I think in response here, we're going to bounce the Visionary back to hand. Sure. Okay. So we can get a little bit of a chain going here. He still doesn't know what's on top of his library necessarily. So it's kind of risky doing this again. I think it's too risky to not just blow up the counterbalance at this point. Revealing a swords. And so now we can tap for 2. And the question is, do we want to run out? We can bounce the Visionary, untap the Arbor, run out of Birchler Rangers. And that actually allows us to set up a little bit better chain next turn, potentially. Where destroy target artifact. So he's going to blow up the Null Rod so that he can get his Divining Top back online. Which is fine. We know he already has a Terminus in hand, but I suppose a Brainstorm puts it right back on top of the library. There's the Brainstorm. Draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. So now we really have to worry about Terminus. So maybe it would have been better to just hold on to that Abrupt Decay. So there's some amount of assumption here. So we can use Symbiote to bounce Visionary and probably Quirion Ranger. So we could try and go for a natural order right now, right? So we can tap for 1. We can tap for 2. We could untap for 3. So no, I don't think we can actually get there. Right, so if we tap for 1, yeah, there's no way we can get there. Oh, we have a Quirion Ranger. We haven't played a land for turn. So maybe... no. I just blew that. I needed to use Quirion Ranger to bounce the Dryad Arbor to save that going into the next turn. Shoot. Right, because if I try and Progenitus right now, he just flips the Terminus, and we don't have Abrupt Decay in response. So we're actually going to use the Symbiote. Cancel. Shoot. Gonna untap him, bounce him. And we're just gonna move to combat. And we missed the Birchlow Ranger. So here would come the terminus at this point. So now if he's going to allow that, we'll throw Quirion Ranger down. Right. So while that's on the stack, we're going to untap the Visionary, return a Forest. We're going to use the Symbiote to untap a Visionary, return a Birchlow Ranger, use a Symbiote to untap a Visionary, return a Visionary, and then we will use should be able to use 3 of them. Did I misclick something? Must have. Alright. Thought I returned the Quirion Ranger to hand, but apparently not. Oh, because he did it on my turn. That's right. So I had already used the 1. So then these guys all go to the bottom. Told you guys are going to see me make a lot of misplays here. But what we're trying to do now is we're trying to throw the Dryad Arbor down there to potentially set up a natural order the next turn, which I don't think is going to work, but what can one do? This is me learning Legacy in front of you all. And I have to admit, it's kind of embarrassing, but I literally have ignored this format. Coverage for Legacy, don't watch it. I do now, but I didn't prior to getting this deck. I was a one-trick pony. Yeah, so we're gonna go Pendelhaven. He played Ponder, so he doesn't necessarily know what's on top, does he? What did he play with Ponder? Yeah, he left them all on top. Chose not to shuffle. Snapcaster Mage. Boom. Shut down. Well, he can't. I guess he could just hard cast. To reveal Brainstorm. And so then we'll just pass. And now if we can foothills into another arbor, we can actually natural order for Progenitus. Sure. What am I going to do about it? Could have Pendlehaven to gain a little more life, but not terribly relevant here. We do have him burnt out on cards, though. He is living on the top. So the thing is he basically has to have Terminus once we drop natural order for Progenitus. It's gonna snap into Brainstorm, Ponder. Probably Ponder, right? Because he really wants to draw into something. Brainstorm. Maybe while he... No, he can't shuffle them while the cards are in his hand. I'm gonna run out of time. Alright, all comes down to this. What does he have in the top 4 cards of his library? We go for it. He basically has to have a Terminus. Now, I suppose he could have a Jace. So if he has a Jace on top, he could counterbalance it with Jace. Or draw a counterspell. That also works. I don't think Miracles runs. Does Miracles run that many counterspells? I didn't think they ran 4 or anything. Counterspell. No, it doesn't look like they run a lot of them. Do 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 do. One would think he has Entreat the Angels in hand, and he's trying to draw into something to get it back on top, or just wants to counter it. So it looks like a Sensei's Divining Top was on top. Great. Yeah, so I think we're pretty much locked out here. Short of drawing another natural order, the problem with drawing a natural order at this point is we don't have any way to actually sacrifice a creature into Progenitus. So now he's got a backup top. So now he can just lock us out for sure on any 1-drops. We've lost both Dryad Arbors. He's put both tops on top. Okay, so now he plays one. Clearly I don't know what I'm doing here. uh, so you're just gonna cycle it a few times to trigger out some guys for the beats. This is good though. I'm learning. This is a pretty cool fast clock they can put out. So I'm almost certain that we know what's on top, and if that's what's on top, we'll just concede at this point because he can cycle Divining Top or reveal Divining Top the rest, and he'll cycle Divining Top to do enough damage next turn. He'll have 2, 4, 5, 6. If he cycles once, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So if he cycles like 3 times, or just plays one, cycles it twice, we're dead. So we'll just concede here. So Miracles is a really tough matchup, and clearly I didn't do anything to dissuade you in that. Also, don't know that I played that particularly well, but that early Terminus was not, it wasn't early, but that Terminus where it was. But I guess that's the whole point of Miracles, right? You're trying to set it up to get these miracle plays, but really you're doing a lot to make sure they're there when you need them. So, anywho, we'll be back with a third match.